Thank you to our sponsor, Shopify. Shopify makes it easy to shop exactly the way you want to. Customize your online store to your style with gorgeous, flexible templates and power tools. Sign up for the $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/IDK, all lowercase. Go to Shopify, shopify.com/IDK now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/IDK. Do you ever feel like money is flying out of your account but you have no idea where it's going? Well, I know. It's all those subscriptions. So I use Rocket Money to help me find out what subscriptions I'm actually spending money on. It was eye-opening, and I had to cancel the ones I didn't want anymore. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/IDK. That's rocketmoney.com/IDK. rocketmoney.com/IDK. Rhythm. Music. Could I ask for one more thing? I don't think so. You might find out. I don't know about that with Jim Jefferies.
New year.
Jack got the joke. Did you?
I think I did.
I got rhythm, I got music. Who could ask for anything more?
What's that?
It's like an old song. You've never heard that song?
But who's singing it?
It's like an old standard, like Gershwin-y type thing.
Don't know it.
I actually didn't know. I thought it was different.
And then I was like, rhythm and music. What else could I
I was
ask
quoting
for?
that Judd song. Like, oh, wow.
I got rhythm. You never heard that song?
I got rhythm.
I
No.
got music.
Yeah.
I got my girl. Who could ask for anything more?
Judy Garland.
Who could ask for anything? It's like a famous
Got
song.
my girl, Judy Garland.
Ella Fitzgerald did it.
Happy New Year's, everyone. How was your Christmas? Hey, you have a good time? Did you get drunk and did one of your relatives say something to one of your other relatives?
Yes.
Not at
Probably.
my house. We all just got high. But I had a good Christmas. It
Had
was
a
wonderful.
drink.
I had a lovely, my 2-year-old. It was he didn't quite know what was going on, but the magic of boxes of presents was not lost on him.
Yeah, he's starting to get it.
Oh, he loved it. And I had family over from Australia. It was lovely.
I
Christmas.
joined you. You invited me to dinner.
Oh, Forrest was there. Yeah,
was there.
Forrest was
Nice.
there for Christmas.
We watched a terrible movie.
Oh my God!
What movie?
I don't like to shit on movie
do.
stars,
I do.
directors. No, because
Oh, yeah.
I work in this business.
It's hard.
I don't want to.
You didn't write it.
I don't want to upset
He didn't write it
anybody.
either. The guy that started it.
But there's a new Eddie Murphy movie called Candy Cane Lane.
Oh.
Oh my God!
It's
It's bad.
It's
you don't get a bigger Eddie Murphy. Anything Eddie Murphy does, I watch. I love Eddie Murphy.
you know people will mash up music and it sounds cool.
Sure.
They tried to do that with a movie. Like, hey, we're gonna take two different storylines. I don't know what they were doing.
It starts off as a banger.
Yeah.
The premise to begin with is all you need, right? Candy Cane Lane, the place in El Segundo, here in LA, where all the houses are decorated with lights, and you
Yep.
sort of, when you buy a house with the council, you have to say that you will put some lights up because that's sort of a touristy
His
thing.
neighbors won a bunch in a row the contest.
And so the thing was, there's there may be a contest, I don't know, but in the movie there's a contest, and his neighbor wins it all the time, and he's just got those inflatable ones, like the big Snoopy and the those
neighbor does.
the popular ones. And Eddie Murphy's character, he carves ones out of wood and he puts lights up himself, and he puts a lot of effort into his thing, and all he wants to do is win this thing.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
then-
good.
Yeah, and then the prize money's like $50,000 or something.
100,000 somehow. That's-
$100,000.
I don't know where that comes from.
And he's like, oh, I need that money. And then just coincidentally, he gets fired right before Christmas. He's got to get his family presents. He's got to win this award. He needs this money to tie him over. That's all the movie fucking needs. The rest of the film should just be hijinks of this man falling off a roof with lights tangled around his leg while he dangles sabotaging, putting an extra volts onto someone else's. A bit of that, right? Someone standing in a puddle and doing that thing where they get electrocuted and their skeleton shows through.
Yeah, perfect.
You know when that happens, when
Yeah.
you see the person's skeleton?
Some animal hijinks.
I'm in. Yeah. Someone trying to have a live manger.
Live reindeer.
A live manger and a fucking donkey runs off with
Yeah.
Jesus on the back down the street. This movie's phenomenal.
That's not what happened, though.
Right? Know what happens?
So what gets complicated?
He goes to a magical shop.
No, they're out of
What?
everything at all the shops, and then he just finds one under an overpass.
He finds a magical
An
shop.
evil elf is running it.
An evil elf is running it, and he buys. I won't ruin it because people should watch it. I need you to watch it.
Where is this found?
Jack, this is part of your job.
It's
And then
Netflix.
Where do I find
it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And it's
They
free.
spent a lot of money on it.
Free. Oh no! There hasn't been a cent saved.
lot of big names in the cast.
Candy Cane Lane.
Candy Cane Lane.
CGI.
Chris Red's in it. He
Chris
played,
Redd, Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman.
Yeah, the
Cool.
neighbor is the guy from
He plays Scooter off the other two.
Party Down, and I can't remember his
he's
name right
a
now.
funny guy.
Yeah. His wife is played by Tracy from Blackish. Tracy.
Yeah, the woman who's the mum of
I
Blackish.
can't remember her last name.
Anyway, the cast is good. But you can even tell during the movie that a lot of them are like, oh no, because I've
David Allen Greer.
I've been on a movie set before where you go, oh, this is going to be good, and then you show up and you go, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, this is a bad movie.
Anyways, Merry Christmas.
You go in with the best intentions, but everyone's got to see it, man. It's madness.
This week,
Greer. He shows. I won't ruin it for you.
I'll watch him talk about it.
Don't give him all the hits.
Yeah, I need, and you have to watch it. I'll let you be high.
I was sober.
I'll watch it sober.
I was
I'll let you be
completely
high,
sober.
but I'm not going to let you be drunk, right?
I'll tell
I'll
you
watch
that.
it sober.
Sober or high, and you got it. You know devices.
I won't do any devices.
This is your working. You're on the clock.
Look, I don't use devices when I watch a movie. I watch the movie.
I'll tell you
You
this.
will with this one.
It had the elements of...
Lock your device up in one of those things that fat ladies put brownies in with the little clock on.
I have no idea what that
You ever
is.
seen those?
No, I have no idea
Fat
what that
people
is.
buy these Tupperware containers that have padlocks on them. That's
What?
it's like so you can put like if you got cookies.
I'm fat.
If you get cookies, you get the plastic container, you put 12 hours. I'm not allowed another cookie for 12 hours, right? And some people do it with their devices, put it in there and go 5 hours. I'm not,
Interesting.
you know what I mean? But it's like
yeah.
kitchen.
I see it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worked pretty well.
This is the other
How'd
thing.
you lose weight? Lockable boxes. No will to power. No willpower.
For 12 hours, I was trying to break into this box.
Yeah. Lockable. Now, I had to take all the axes out of the house. Sure, I did. Broken plastic everywhere.
The axis. Who has axis?
No, I have none anymore. Took them out.
No, but the movie... I watched it sober, and you know, sometimes when you watch a movie high and you're not getting it, you're like, "Am I really?" That's what this movie makes you feel like.
If you
Yeah.
tell,
Am I high? And I'm like, "Wait, I'm sober."
If you tell me there's a new Eddie Murphy Christmas movie, I watch any Christmas movie that
course.
comes out because there's so many Christmas movies that comes out. But if
Yeah.
it's a big name, and it's hard to get into a Christmas rotation. Like I'll think of ones that were quite good. There was that Seth Rogen one where he was like
Spirited.
No, Spirited was all right. Spirited was last year,
yeah.
and that was all right. Does that get into the rotation? How do you become an elf?
Yeah, once you get into the rotation, you're good to go.
Every now and again, we're looking for an elf. I don't know if Spirited made it, but Spirit was a
It was
musical.
on again this year. I
Well,
saw it,
it's-
it was on Netflix.
It sits in Apple. It's an Apple one.
Oh no,
Spirited.
but okay, maybe that's why it's Apple.
It started charting again in Apple
yeah,
because
yeah,
it was one of the things. But if you can get in the rotation, I don't know if Candy Cane Lane can get in the rotation.
No.
If it does, it'll become like that movie The Room, where people come to watch it in the cinema.
Well, we'll see.
And we all cheer.
Let's let Jack watch it. So,
What if I like it?
Be honest.
I will.
well,
Be honest.
you're on the road this week.
Okay.
Baltimore, Maryland,
Okay, so
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston is sold out, but we still have tickets in Baltimore, yo. That's how I
B-Town.
talk now.
Just a 6-hour drive.
Be more. So that's the 12th and the 13th.
But I'm
12th in
saying
Baltimore.
But I
13th
was
in
also
Boston.
if you just saw the shows in Washington, the joke's going to be the same. So don't do that because it was just a month ago.
Or buy it again.
There's one new joke. Drive on.
Oh
down.
no, there's definitely one new joke.
Drive
I
on
talk
down.
about this movie Candy Cane. Ah, fuck!
January 26th, you're in Sacramento, California, and the 27th in Indio, California, out at Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Palm. It's like Palm
I
Springs.
love me some Palm Springs.
Then you're back in Vegas, Des Moines, Kansas City. You can go to jimjeffries.com. All the dates are on there. If you're in the Tampa or St. Pete area this week, I'll be at the Sunshine Comedy Festival. Come out to that. It's there's a whole bunch of comics. So even if you hate me, come down and watch some other comics. It's a real fun festival in the St. Pete, Tampa area Sunshine Comedy Festival. Why are you laughing?
You're bailing on your own plug.
No, there's some people that would be like, I'm not going to come fucking see Forrest, but,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know who else is there. Be good.
right.
Yeah, come see me, even if you
It should
hate
be
me.
good.
Yeah. It's fun. I think that's it.
All right. I've got some products I want to talk to you all about at some point in the show, maybe not now.
Now let's meet our guest. Please welcome Angus Usher.
G'day, Angus. Now it's time to play.
Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Judging a book by its cover.
Covers.
Covers.
Sponsored. Okay,
by
so
Barnes & Noble.
you're a university graduate, I believe. Yes, you're a university graduate?
Yes.
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
Because books.
It's a good guess.
And they're not like the books that I have in my house. I have a shelf of books that they're meant to look good. They're different heights.
And they're just big books with big pictures.
Well,
in them.
I'm the king of the coffee table book. And now when I see a coffee table book, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
I want it. There was the big book of Ferrari, and it was velvet leather cover. Well, clean would probably put it in the washing machine. It's an inside joke.
We'll see if there's any setup to that in the intro. We record this part first.
I think people got it. I think people got it without even saying that. But
I lost a bit of suede lately. It's been a hard Christmas.
so Angus,
Okay, so Angus, like the beef, spelt the same as the beef.
Exactly.
Aberdeen Angus. So are you Scottish?
Heritage, yes, but not born.
You're in South Africa, I assume, yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
but he does not live there. He's there right now.
Oh, he's there right now, but you don't live there. Oh, are you?
It doesn't really help. Either
Are
way.
you a university lecturer?
I am not.
Oh,
To be fair, actually, to give you a better clue, this background is my parents, so this is not mine at all.
I was wondering why there's so many dildos and strap-ons on the.
His parents' sex dungeon.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, he smiled. I didn't just meet a new bloke and go, "Your parents like to fuck," and they assume they do at least once. Okay, so it's your parents' books and stuff. Okay, so is it a learned? Okay, is it about sport?
It is.
Is it about cricket?
We've done cricket.
Have we?
Yeah.
Well, okay, is it rugby?
It is rugby.
Oh, it's not your third favourite sport, which is legless running.
Oh, South Africa, you mean? Yeah.
The number 3
This guy
sport.
crawled today.
Yeah, he's out, man.
Yeah.
He's out. They're trying to put an ankle bracelet on him. It's been very tricky.
How did you guess sports so quick? And how did you do that?
South Africans,
Yeah.
they like sports.
Yeah.
And they're mad for rugby, legless running, and cricket.
Yeah.
We've already done cricket, as we found out. I used my power of deduction.
Now, we may talk a little bit about rugby league, but we're going to talk mostly about rugby union. But we're talking about rugby in general.
I
still.
mostly know about rugby league.
Yeah, okay. But
But
we'll see.
I
We'll see what
was
you know.
never been a big. But I have a second cousin who played for the Wallabies
Oh, no.
in the World Cup, where they.
Who are the Wallabies?
Well, that's question number one. The Wallabies. The Wallabies are the Australian national team.
Oh, that's a nickname.
Yeah.
You guys are always named after a cute animal.
Yeah. So the Wallabies. The South Africans are the Springboks.
Yep.
The All Blacks of New Zealand are the All Blacks.
Yeah. Well, let me introduce Angus here probably. Angus Usher has a master's in sports performance analysis from Chichester University in England. Angus has previously worked for several rugby clubs and currently uses Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, to post rugby analysis content. You can find him there on Twitter or X at AnalystGus. So analyst, G-U-S, Gus. Find him there. And he is currently working for a Premier League football club team as well.
Which Premier League team do you work for?
I'm not really allowed to disclose that, as you'd expect from a Premier League club, but that's where I'm at the moment. I'm based in London.
Fulham! Come on, son!
Nah, he's not allowed to say.
Slightly,
Look, let's be honest.
slightly higher up the table than.
Oh, go fuck yourself. Fulham's about halfway.
Where is Fulham right now?
We're at about 12th or something.
Not bad.
Premier
Not
League?
bad.
You're still up there?
No,
All right.
no, we're doing all right. We're doing
Liverpool's
all
on
right.
the top right now, but
Yeah,
they're
no. Okay, so he's either Chelsea, Tottenham. He's not West Ham. West Ham's below Fulham.
Yeah, if
and
it's Tottenham, I have a Clean Dick 99 jersey. at home.
It's Chelsea, Tottenham, or Arsenal are the teams that he works for.
Well, Angus, tell us about your background in rugby, like how you got into rugby and analyzing data and stats and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, as Jism said, everyone in South Africa is well, at least 50% of the population is obsessed with rugby. And I grew up being obsessed with rugby. I was born in 1995, so I've seen quite a few World Cup wins in my lifetime. And I decided in my early 20s that I wanted to do it as a kind of profession and a career. So I studied my master's in sports performance analysis, and that brought me to working for rugby clubs and essentially doing sort of analysis for them in the way of breaking down data and video footage to help players and coaches better understand what's going on in a match, and to review matches to then improve and I guess move forward with training sessions and everything implemented in the use of those data, statistics and video footage analysis that we do.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for being on the show. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to ask Jim a series of questions about rugby. He's going to answer them the best of his ability. At the end of that, you're going to grade him on his accuracy, 0 through 10. 10's the best. Jack's going to grade him on confidence. I'm going to grade him on how hungry I am.
I don't know why that makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah, every time you laugh. Yeah.
These are always top points.
I'll add all those scores together on the topic of rugby, and then at the end, if you get 21 through 30, Cardi B. Get it?
No, I don't really.
Because rugby.
Cardi B.
That was a very lazy one on this one.
Yeah.
Notorious B.
Wow.
IG.
IG.
What do you think the last one is?
Hug B.
Samantha B.
Samantha B.
Yeah.
Does she rap?
I couldn't think of any other rappers would be in there. So she just gave it away.
Or do anything?
0 through 10. All right. What? I'm just asking you this right off the top, just because.
We got no problem with
We
Samantha
like
B. We like
Samantha
Samantha B.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything. Did you say anything?
I was dating or do anything. I think the show's cancelled. I was being snide.
All right.
As a
She's doing
person
well.
who's had a cancelled similar show.
Yeah. Are you doing anything?
Clearly not.
I'm asking you this right off the top because I figured you're going to try and go back up. This is what this one is. So let's get us out of the way. What are the differences between rugby union and rugby league?
What are the differences between rugby?
For those at home that don't know, I mean, you can go to the very basic.
You get 2 extra players on the pitch in rugby union.
Location you could even do.
You got in the scrums. You have guys playing on the flank that come the breakaways.
Well, where are they
on the
played
side.
too? You got to remember, a lot of people listening to this don't know anything about rugby.
Where do they play? The 2 countries play the same.
Yeah.
So South Africa, I don't believe has much interest in rugby league, but maybe they do. Rugby league is played in the north of England and on, for the most part, the east coast of Australia, Queensland, New South Wales.
Yeah.
The 2 sports, so originally rugby union was just an unprofessional sport, and the league was brought in so the players could get money, and they made some rule changes and stuff like that. The biggest difference that you'll see in rugby union to rugby league is mauls and rucks, which is where in rugby union they all get on top of each other and they all try to push each other back in a big pack. That's not a thing that happens, and they're trying to push it back with their feet. Right, and then the other ones where they all just dump on top of each other and they're passing it back with their hands, and it's like, mauls and rucks. The scrums are more influential. Have got more influence in the game in a game of rugby union.
I guess what are these words you're saying?
Rugby league.
You don't know what a scrup is? A scrup and a rum?
I have no idea.
Rugby league has 5 tackles, and then you got to hand the ball over. Right. Where rugby union there's no end to the tackles. So
just keep going.
Rugby league, you tackle, stop, reset very quickly. Not like like American football. Like we're talking.
Yeah,
seconds.
I know that version of rugby.
Hit. Under your legs,
Quick
hit,
reset,
under your legs,
throw it
reset,
back,
hit,
yeah,
right, thing. Where rugby union will pass, and they're all getting together in a pack and go like this until the ball gets out, and then they'll go it again. They go and everything. Also, there's a different scoring system.
Well, let's.
There's a lot more kicking involved.
We'll get into scoring and stuff like that.
Well, you asked me the difference. There's
I know that's good.
Many.
I know. You need
There's
that's
a lot.
fine. I think that's good. What you said.
Surprising.
All right. When and where did rugby originate?
In England, the story goes that there was some private school, because rugby unions for the most part is a posh kid sport. I don't know why, but like when it was non-professional, it was all lawyers and doctors playing each other. But in a private school, they were playing soccer, football as it should be called, and one of the players picked up the ball and started running with it. We all had a rollicking good laugh. You're not meant to use your hands. And that's how rugby union was invented.
Okay. And when?
Oh, that was Thursday.
Oh. Pretty new sport.
Oh, okay. So I would say the sport, I'm going to give it a few hundred years. No, not a massive amount, 300 years. Okay.
So, wait, 300 years?
Yeah.
So
1724.
24, okay. What is it? How many players are on a rugby
January.
team? How many players are on a rugby team?
Now, this is going to be really embarrassing because I tried to buy a rugby league team and I'm now blanking on...
What happened with that?
I'm still involved with it, but it's a very long process. There's a lot of people that have to approve you getting the Bears back in. I thought it would just... Anyway, I don't want to talk about it.
How many players are on the team?
I think it's 15 and 13 on the other one.
And a scrum, you already mentioned?
There's 13 in a rugby league game and 15 in a rugby union.
Okay, 13 and 15?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember, I can't type this stuff in there.
Oh, right.
I'm not capable of doing that.
Right. All right.
I'll remember it. I'll do it this time. I got it. What is a scrum?
A scrum in rugby league would be 6 players, 3 in the front, 2 in the second row, and 1 in the lock position that will all join in with their heads in between the people's asses, like on the side of the ass, not up the ass. And you get an extra 2 players, they call breakaways.
But what is it? What is a scrum? What's happening?
It's to reset the ball after the ball has been dead in play or there's something that happened. So the team that has the benefit of the scrum will be the team that feeds the ball in, and then the ball will have to be pushed back and roll between their legs till it gets to the end. Now, in rugby union, these are huge men bashing into each other and really pushing and like that, and it's really something to see. In rugby league, they should get rid of them now because they don't do anything. They're just a formality to get that many players into one area and then restart the play.
How is a try scored and how many points is it?
In rugby league, a try is worth 4 points and the conversion is worth 2. In rugby union, a try is worth 4 points and the conversion is 3, I believe.
Yeah, you can just do like rugby union.
Yeah.
So, what is a tight 5?
Something that Amos Gill never pulls off when he's opening up for us. Keep it to 5, mate. Keep it to 5.
He loves 12.
All right, that's it. I've had a good go, everyone. Time for me to go. Which reminds me, I had a girlfriend leave me, and I'll tell you that story very quickly.
You know what he always does too? Is he'll get off stage and be like, "You're supposed to do 15," and he goes, "Yeah, but I did like no, I'm sorry." He goes, "I'm supposed to do 15," and then he goes, "Yeah, I knew that, but then you tell me." I'm sorry, I'm doing something right. You said you did 20 minutes, and you go, "Yeah, how much was I supposed to do?" And you're like, 15. And you go, "Oh yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say in my head. Edit this out.
Edit that bit out. Edit the bit out with.
You know what I'm saying?
Before I started stroking.
Do you know what I'm saying when he says? All right.
I know. Yeah, we made the point. He runs over.
I know. But
is the point?
There's something there that he says.
God, this really grinds his gears.
Yeah. I hope he listens to this. He doesn't.
So what is a type 5?
Yeah, type 5. What is a type? I don't know what a type 5 is.
I'm still trying to think about what I'm.
Doesn't matter. Move on.
Okay. When did rugby?
Oh, I know what he said.
Yeah. When did rugby become a professional sport?
Wait, he didn't answer what a type 5 was.
He says he doesn't know.
I don't know. Okay, so I want to say that rugby became a professional sport in the late 90s. Because I remember in the early
1990s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the early 1990s, I know that there was still they still weren't paid, and it was all to play for Australia or whatever. You had to be a really good player, but a lot of players used to go over to rugby league. Now at the moment, the Australian rugby league team sucks, terrible team, right? But if we just scooped up a few of those rugby league players, we'd be dominant, but we don't. But yeah, basically rugby league was the professional sport. Rugby union wasn't. It was played by private school boys as a real lark and a thing to play, They all played, and then they decided. But there was a lot of corruption that went on. So you'd go. Oh, this player plays for Australia. and he was offered to go play the rugby league, but he decided against it. And a magical new house has appeared.
Yeah.
You know, so little secret gifts were given. It's a bit like college sports in that regard. You know, there was little dodgy things going on.
All right.
I used to be Angus. I used to be David Campese's paper boy. What do you think about that?
I think he also married a South African, didn't he?
Well, I don't think that's as much of an achievement as Jim Jefferies being his fucking paper boy. No, so on do you remember a winger on the other side of in that early '90s World Cup where we played in England and I think Australia won it, and there was David Campese on the wing. This wasn't the Jonah Lomu year that World Cup, it was the World Cup before that. David Campese played on one wing, and the other winger was Bob Edgerton. Do you remember Bob?
Before my time. Before I was born.
No, this is a deep cut. Well, anyway, that guy's my second cousin. Never met him, but
I just remembered the Amos thing.
Right.
Okay, so you'll come off stage. You'll have done 23 minutes, and you'll just be like, "Hey, you're supposed to do 50 minutes." He goes, "Oh, I thought it was 20." And you're like, "Yeah, but you still did 23." Yeah. That's what the fuck I was trying to say.
You did 23 minutes. I thought you went to 15. Well, I thought it was 20. You still did 23.
Yeah. He doesn't do. Fuck my brain. All right. When was the first international rugby match played?
The first international rugby match was played 1840.
When and where was the first Rugby World Cup hosted? When and where?
Okay, there hasn't been that many World Cups. I believe the first Rugby World Cup was in I'm going to say like 1980 in England.
Okay. Which countries have won the Rugby World Cup?
New Zealand, Australia, England. I can't think of one, but I'm going to say South Africa. Oh, of course, Invictus. Yeah, of course, the fucking big movie. Yeah, so South Africa.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that's it. I don't think we've ever had an Italy or an Argentina or something, actually.
Let me jump ahead. What country has won the most Rugby World Cups?
I believe England's won 1, Australia's won 2, and I believe New Zealand has won 3.
What is the name of the trophy awarded to the Rugby World Cup winner?
No, the Blenhersloe Cup. That's not the Blenhersloe Cup. The Blenhersloe Cup's Australia, New Zealand, England, or something. Australia, New Zealand.
I'm not very hungry.
Blenhersloe Cup. Okay, the McDonald's Cup then. That'll feed your hunger.
Who captained Australia to their 1999 Rugby World Cup win?
1999.
Rugby World Cup win. Who was the captain?
1999.
Yeah, 1999. That's when you're gonna party.
Okay, so I believe in 1995 it was Nick Farr-Jones, and I believe in 1999.
Did you ever?
I'm going to say George Gregan.
And were you there, Paperboy?
No, but I was Campo's. Campo had a store in the St Ives shopping mall called Campo's, and I used to deliver the papers around the St Ives shopping centre in the northern beaches of Sydney. And Campo was me delivery boy, and he used to buy a paper for 40 cents, and he used to give me 50 and just ding back in my pocket.
What did they sell at Campos?
Rugby jerseys.
Nice.
And Campo would sit by
candles, scented candles.
Okay,
I don't know.
David Campese was literally like the most famous, but he just retired, and he'd sit behind the corner. So basically, you could buy your jersey, and he'd sign it for you. You know what I mean? So like,
Did he sell jerseys for other teams or just his team?
just rugby shit, rugby boots, rugby jerseys, rugby shorts, just rugby.
That's pretty cool.
Who has scored the most points in international rugby?
Who has scored the most points in international rugby? See, this would be like a weird thing. Like if it was in one World Cup, you'd go Johnny Wilkinson for England, but he didn't play in that many World Cups. So you got to think who played in a shitload of World Cup and who's converting these kicks.
Mm-hmm.
That was some smart reasoning. That adds to the confidence.
I don't know any names.
It'll be someone who does. Okay. Fuck it, Johnny Wilkinson. when I started podcasting, an online store was the first thing from my mind. But now I'm selling, my records and different merch, and the merch that not this one. I don't own the Dodgers, not yet.
Paintings.
Got to keep dreaming. Right, but we sell also merch for this podcast, and it's so easy, all because we use Shopify. Selling a little hat or a large painting, Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your own online shop stage to the first real life store stage, and all the way to did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor gifts, Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from the all-in-one commerce platforms to their in-person POS system. Whatever, wherever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Wouldn't you like your shop to be selling 36% better?
Yes.
Of course you would. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Jack, you sell things for me. How's Shopify going for you? Does it make it all easy?
Yes.
Have you found any of it difficult?
No.
Have we used other ones that weren't as good?
Yes.
And how did that make you feel?
Bad,
Well,
honestly.
exactly. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. That's 10%. 1 in 10 companies are powered by e-commerce in the US by Shopify. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds. We love us some Allbirds. They don't sponsor the podcast anymore, but I still wear them. Thanks for the shoes. And Brooklinen and millions of other entrepreneurs at every size across the country. And Shopify works in 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because business that grow with Shopify. Sign up for the $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/IDK, all lowercase. Go to Shopify, shopify.com/IDK now to grow your business no matter what the stage you're in. Shopify.com/IDK. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. Oh man, I need this so bad. I got so many subscriptions. Monitors your spending. It helps lower your bills. I can see all my subscriptions in one place, and I can see if there's something I don't want. I can cancel it with a tap. I've never had to go to the phone with the customer service people.
Yeah, I actually use this app.
I'm getting it now.
I didn't even know they were sponsoring us, but I already use this app because I used to have like all these spreadsheets with my budget on it, and like I have all these things connected, and it was just like convoluted stuff. Now they have an app. Like I just use the app, and you put your budget of what you want to spend, and it has and you also can do, like you said, if you cancel something, it's all everything's like synced up and stuff, and you can look at everything on your phone the same way you can your bank balance. Like I really highly recommend this.
Well, that's good for us because they have over 5 million users, you being one of them, that have helped save its members an average of $720 a year. This is no bullshit. $720 a year for each one of these 5 million people with over 500 million cancelled subscriptions.
Yeah.
Wow.
You think of there's so many. There's some I'll be watching a TV show and have that app, and then I see you can get a bundle with all three, and it's just too much for me.
No, you know what? My phone company pays for Netflix and Hulu and stuff. Like I was literally like the commercial. I was paying for Netflix 3 different ways, and they don't tell you. They just let you do it.
Of course they do.
Yeah. So
Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/IDK. That's rocketmoney.com/IDKAT. IDKAT. IDKAT. rocketmoney.com/IDKAT.
where is rugby? In what year did South Africa win their first Rugby World Cup?
That was the year with Jana Laimu, and in the rugby there was Mandela had just come out, and he decided to get Matt Damon to join the country together. Is this offensive to you, Angus?
Not particularly.
Good. I'll
don't
keep
have
going
the,
then.
the
I'm
most
all
South
right.
African accent, to be honest.
All right, so in the movie Invictus, I'm going to say that was 1999.
Where is rugby most popular?
I'm going to say that rugby was most popular South Africa, no, New Zealand. New Zealand, they're fucking mad for rugby. That's all they care about is rugby. You go on stage and they're like this, the All Blacks beat you. Oh, they'll know South Africa. There's a South African bloke on holiday who's really passionate. Oh, no, bro. South Africa beat you. Put up with it.
Who are the British and Irish Lions?
The British Lions are that's the name of their rugby team.
The Irish too?
I don't know why the Irish get on there as well. I wouldn't know. The Irish team at the moment is ranked number 1 in the world. A good friend of ours, Andrew Maxwell, is rugby mad. He does rugby podcasts and stuff like that. He could have been your professor. He would have talked all day. He loves the rugby. But the Irish team is very good at the moment. They're top notch.
What form of rugby is in the Olympic Games?
Sevens. Sevens rugby, which is, of course, cut down from 15 players to 7 players. Big open field, good for fast
More
people.
scoring.
Fast people, you don't use many forwards, you use more backs because, like fast.
Why are there different rugby leagues? Why are there even?
The original one was so that the players could get paid, and that's why they changed to rugby league. So they had to have a form of players where ironically, okay, so rugby union is called that, where the players unionised to make league.
Is rugby better than the NFL, and why?
I believe rugby. Rugby union. I find to be a bit of
That's
a
the correct answer.
I find to be a bit of a messy sport with all the mucks and the rules. But I still appreciate the game. I think rugby league is a better form of force. Rugby league's a very simple game. It's a row of people, push back, push back, push back, push back. But the problem with American football is the stopping and the starting. And if you haven't, and all American sports, no other sports have this, I want to stop. Timeout. Fuck timeouts. I was at the basketball the other day. I was just getting into something. Timeout. Now I've got a T-shirt being shot at me. Keep playing the fucking game.
You mean at basketball?
Yeah, basketball. Yeah, the basketball.
I feel
Timeout.
like all sports have timeouts, don't they?
American sports.
Yeah, but the argument there.
Name me another sport. Name me another sport that's not North American that has a timeout.
Tennis.
Soccer?
Tennis doesn't have timeout.
Tennis has timeouts.
Tennis. Okay, team sport.
What about soccer when they come up with the cards?
They don't have. No, they don't have timeout. You know what they do? That
they're
they think
stopping the clock, and people don't know stopping the clock. That's why we get extra time. We get 4 minutes.
But that
5
to me
minutes.
is like
the same
is
thing?
dumb. Where they're like, I guess there's 6 minutes.
No.
left.
The coach, the umpire, he's been using.
I know,
the
but nobody
stopwatch.
knows.
He know that's the whole point. That you can't hold the ball and take a knee. You have to play right through till the end. Also, the players don't have a clock that
Corruption.
they're looking at the whole time. They're meant to be playing and all type of stuff. The game flows and keeps going. The stopping and the starting in American sport drives me crazy.
Golf after 9 holes when you get a hot dog.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, but
It's
is there
a
an
turn.
official thing?
Hot dog time.
All right, Angus. How did Jim do on his knowledge of rugby? 0 through 10. 10's the best.
And also, they don't do this at tennis. They go, I need time. Okay, sorry. I'm ready.
I would say he did really well, actually. I wasn't expecting him to get so many questions right. He got a few dates kind of confused when he was talking about World Cups and when Australia won or when South Africa won and a few other things in particular. But I would say probably a 7 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
This podcast is over. All right. How do you do on confidence?
I'm going to give him a 9.
9.
Only because he didn't really have a clear answer for the end. He just doesn't like timeouts.
That's very clear.
I don't know.
Also,
You're like, it's messy. It's like, I don't like timeouts.
Timeout.
A lot of people get the shits with like American sport because they go with all the pads and all the this and all of that. I think they have more concussion problems because they lead with their head.
Probably.
Than rugby players do. I believe they have more concussion problems.
Would you like that extra point?
Yeah.
All right, you got a 10.
Thanks.
Sold me.
Oh, okay.
Turned me around.
Yeah. I
Turned
hate
me
the
around.
NFL, so it doesn't even matter. But hate's a strong word, but I think it's my least
follow
favorite.
Strongly
You follow a
dislike.
team and you know all the players.
Least favorite sport, though.
Yeah, but I could give you who's the quarterback for Tennessee Titans right now?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, I shouldn't have gone too hard.
That
Will
was a
Levi, I
weird
think is his
team.
name.
Yeah, there we go. Out of the recesses of his brain.
No, it's because I play fantasy football, though. If I didn't play fantasy football, I wouldn't know any fucking thing about NFL. Basketball, sure. All right. I'm not very hungry, so Samantha B. All right.
Pretty good, though.
What are the differences between rugby union and rugby league? Jim said a lot of stuff. I didn't even write the answer down there now, but maybe you can We can just get that out of the way there, I guess.
He essentially got everything right. As you mentioned, it's slightly different point scoring. So in rugby, the point scoring is, rugby union, your point scoring, your tries are worth 5 compared to your rugby league, which is 4, and the conversions both being 2, etc. The amount of players, he was right with that as well. 15 players in rugby union, 13 in rugby league. And the main difference for me, at least, from a visual perspective, is that, as Jim mentioned, the structure. So the lack of set pieces in rugby league. So you have a line out in rugby union, which you don't have in rugby league. There's a lot more kicking in rugby union. And then, as Jim mentioned as well, the mauls and the rucks, which are breaks kind of in the flow of play, slightly different to the rugby league, where obviously you have the tackle and then the defenders have to retreat while the player pushes the ball between their legs.
So the kick, the extra point, what do you call it? The extra, when you kick, extra points? Conversion. That's 2 in both leagues?
Yeah.
I did one of those, remember?
Thought it was something, yeah.
Oh, you did.
I kicked one. How far was that? It was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you weren't that far.
Not that far, my first time.
Yeah.
Nailed
I
it.
kicked one. I had a janky knee and a cane at the time.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing, it was wet, I remember. I was worried about slipping.
What was that M word you kept using?
Sorry?
What was that M word?
Oh, the M.
The M. You're saying like,
I said it twice, Jack. I was angry.
Apologizing for it right now on air.
Maul.
Maul?
Maul. Like
and
Darth
rucks.
Maul.
Yeah, mauls and rucks.
So what's a maul and a
Potter.
ruck? So what's a maul and a ruck?
Ruck is where you're going back with your feet, like that. Your ruck is where you're going back with your feet. And the maul's where you're standing there and you're sort of passing the ball.
Okay.
And you're all standing up. No, it hasn't fallen down. Or
Got
anything.
it.
But there's another thing called line-outs, Jack. Okay, so line-out, this only happens in rugby union.
Okay.
My nephew was the king of line-outs because he was a tall kid. He was like 6'8".
What's up? Maybe ask Angus what a line out so you can participate. Yeah.
Angus knows.
Yeah, I know.
Participate.
It's a vital part of the game.
I was going to ask him what it is. Yeah.
So
I think it would probably be more entertaining to hear what Jim line out as.
Okay, so what happens is the ball goes over the line, right?
What line?
Out of the field of play.
Out of play,
Out
okay.
of play, right? And it kicked over that way. And so they have a line out. So the team who's now got the possession of the ball, they throw it in like this, and they get about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 of them to stand in a row each like this, right? And they throw the ball in the middle, and then they have to jump up to grab it. But then what they do is to make people really high, right? They get like a tall bloke and they grab his shorts, and 2 other blokes will stand next to him and pull his shorts up like this so he can get like, 50, maybe 14 feet off the sky in the air, right? To catch it. It looks really bad on the testes.
They grabbed him literally by the shorts.
If you Google it, you'll
Not
get
even
to
like.
see what I mean.
Why can't they grab his legs? Why the shorts?
Rugby line out, short grab.
I can't stop laughing about
Rugby
that.
line out.
What was that? N-word. Just your reaction was funny. Like, what was that N-word? Sorry, I'll get past it. When and where did rugby originate? Jim said England in 1723. Is that correct, Angus?
Yes, but apart from the dates, of course.
Oh, yeah. Jim was very excited for
The
saying
rugby union, or what we believe was the origins of rugby, originated in 1823 by a certain William Webb Ellis picking up a football, as Jim mentioned, and running with it. At least that's how the myth goes. And I guess what is probably most important about that story is where that all took place. And it took place in a town called Rugby, at a school called Rugby. And I guess that's obviously where the name came from.
I've gigged in
that's probably
rugby.
the most crucial part of that.
I would also like to change my answer to the cup is called the Ellis Cup. Thank you very much.
the what Ellis Cup?
The guy who picked up the ball, Ellis Cup.
I don't know what's his name.
E.J. Ellis or E.D.
He
Ellis.
just said it.
I know, but it's the Ellis Cup. It is the Ellis Cup.
Also, if you would have said, you said 200 years at first, and then you switched it to 300, you would have been right on.
That would have been
you
right
said
on.
1823.
Well,
That's the year, right? 1823?
1823, so it's 200 years last year.
Yeah,
Big celebration.
I could have gotten an extra point there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the Rugby League Cup was called right up until about the year, I would say 1999.
Mm-hmm.
You love that year.
Yeah, the Winfield Cup.
Like cigarettes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to have, when I was a kid, I supported rugby league, they used to have the in zones, which, you know,
Yeah.
we don't call them that in rugby, but it's just for American people.
What are those called?
They're called the fucking, not the in zone. What's it called, mate? Angus, what's it called? The bloody
In goal.
In goal. There we go. Anyway, so they would just be painted red with the Winfield logo at each end.
Yeah.
And these players didn't need timeouts from getting winded from smoking cigarettes all the
bottom
time.
of the trophy just said Winfield.
Yeah.
And the Winfield Cup was the most coveted thing in my childhood. Like, oh, they won the Winfield Cup. It's amazing I wasn't smoking sooner.
There used to be NASCAR used to be big didn't they used to have like a lot of cigarettes or something?
They had everything.
They still do? Winston Cup, yeah. Is that the same company? Winfield or Winston?
Winfield, no, they're
I know.
different.
Yeah, it was the Winston. It used to be the Winston Cup for the NASCAR. Yeah.
And
didn't know
also,
Winston
you
was
got
cigarettes.
like Winfield Red and Winfield Blue. And Winfield Red are your cowboy killers, like Marlboro Reds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Anytime you see red on the cigarette packet, that's a harsh cigarette, right? And they always advertised the full strength. They never went, give them the blues.
I don't know anything about cigarettes. What makes one harsher versus another?
The stuff, the chemicals that give you cancer and stuff is just as prevalent in both cigarettes, but actually on your throat and on your lungs, there's lower level of tar.
Yeah.
Tar. Okay.
And so that's when they call them Marlboro Lights.
Less tar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're less heavy cigarettes.
And they used to advertise it that way too. Do you want cancer or are you a pussy? That's how they'd advertise
Damn.
it.
Yeah, and that's why the cow would always be Winnie Red, like Marlboro Reds. And Marlboro Reds are fucking, you're going for it.
I remember I bought you Reds the first time you had me go get cigarettes because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And you go, what are you trying to do, fucking kill me?
I need some healthy cigarettes. How many players on a rugby team? You did specify that, the difference, Angus, already. What is a scrum? Reset the ball after the play is dead? Is that what that is?
Yeah, exactly that. It serves as a restart for a stoppage, and the stoppage could have been for a knock-on or a forward pass, which is essentially an indiscretion by one of the teams. And because unlike American football, you can't actually pass the ball forward. So if that happens, then you would get a scrum, and the scrum, as Jim said, in rugby union is 8v8. In rugby union, it's properly contested, so you actually really have a contest for the ball where the scrummaging team is trying to fight over the ball, unlike rugby league, where you're at 6v6 and it's not really contested. As he said, there's slightly smaller players kind of competing for the ball, and they're not really there for the scrum. They're there for the rest of the game.
But that wasn't the case.
In rugby union, you have dedicated players for the scrum.
When I was a kid in rugby league, they would start having the turnovers, but then with the neck problems and the this and the that, the players all decided, oh, fuck it, we're not going to really do this. But a rugby union scrum is fucking a thing to be seen because they get like about, a foot apart from each other and they go, boom, ooh, and they get and necks underneath.
How do they not get injured all the time?
They
do.
They know where to put their heads and everything, but their heads are down and in, and they're all pushing with their shoulders. Like if you're in the middle, it's got to compress the spine.
Definitely one time I got a concussion was playing rugby.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Do we know where all these words come from? Scrum and maul and
Maul.
Maul, the M word.
Right. What do you mean? Where all these?
They're weird words. Scrum.
Where does touchdown come from?
Because they
don't touch down.
down.
because that's the whole thing. A touchdown should be called a try, because a try the ball has to be grounded by your hand with downward force.
I've seen that, yeah.
Right, to be the thing. So
they have to slam it. It's like I thought they were celebrating the first time I watched it. They go, Kah!
Yeah, you have to put it down. Where a touchdown, you just have to run over.
No,
should just be called a run over.
You have to have 2 feet in.
A 2 footsie insy.
Yeah,
something. But there's nothing's being touched down.
Well, the ball has to cross the plane, or if you're catching it's a lot of rules.
I'll tell you, if American football figures out how to pass the ball backwards, the whole game changes.
They already do pass the ball back.
They don't do it anywhere near enough. And every single person, Australian and English person I know that watch the sport, they're like, what the fuck is... As soon as they're running down, and there should be they should be training to have another person run next to them, pass backwards, go in.
You mean while they're... Oh, yeah, they do that in, like, the last play of the game.
Yeah.
Like, when they're trying to... But if they fumble that, then the other team gets it.
You're professional athletes wearing fucking gloves with little towels hanging off the back of your fucking spandex pants.
So this is
How did they make American football so brutal, yet such effeminate outfits with your little midriff fucking chops and your fucking spandex pants and a little towel for me hands, and then I have a little visor in case the sun gets in my eyes.
Jim, you should write a new version of Ted Lasso, but you're a rugby coach that comes in to coach an NFL team.
I'm telling you, the moment they figure out to pass it backwards, the moment a team cracks that code, where they go, stop blocking, we'll have a guy blocking, have another person that just runs next to him, pass back in. Like, that's how all tries are made. I saw someone do it the other day, and he passed it back.
Got called back. Yeah, Travis Kelce did it.
And it was like, brilliant.
Yeah, but there was a penalty, so it got called back.
But
not because he passed it backwards. It was something else.
Angus, do you feel my pain, or do you think I'm talking rubbish?
I don't watch enough American football to know the ins and outs and properly like analyze it as I would like to. But I agree. Whenever I've watched American football, I've thought there's not enough backward passing and not making use of the space and opportunities there.
Yeah, they don't like literally. How many backward passes would we see in a year of American football? 20?
Well, sometimes when they start just if a running back takes it, they will pitch it back.
No,
you're talking about downfield. You're talking about downfield.
I'm talking about that.
Not often. You'll see it.
It feels like as soon as they've made their 10 yards, they're happy to die with it.
Yeah. Unless it's a last minute thing, you probably see it a handful of times.
I'm telling you, it would. You know how like in the basketball they figured out we'll just keep shooting threes, and they used to like go down the court and they take their times. And now they're like, let's go really quickly, shoot a three, rebound it, get a two, shoot a three, and now scores have blown out to like 150. Only 15 years ago, scores over 100 weren't a rarity, but they weren't. You know, if you saw a game,
it's a little different. In the 90s, they had the rules favored the defense, and then they switched the rules to favor the offense. That's part of the three is part of it as well, though.
Right, but the three, there was never this prevalent amount of threes. And also in cricket, one day cricket, they figured out that they used to like try to get their bats in and try to do really well. And then like Sachin Tendulkar came out and said, you know what, I'm going to get as many runs as quickly as possible, and then we can slow down if we get some outs. And then the scores just blew up once that mindset. The Fosby flop. Right, the high jumper who went, I'm not going to go overwards, I'm going to flip over with my back. Imagine trying to sell that kind of a move. Imagine being the first bloke who would have been Fosby. Yeah. Remember the guy who had the Fosby flop?
EJ Fosby.
Yeah, Fosby came down and went, I'm going to jump backwards like that. Yeah. They go, he's out of his mind, and then he started. The team to figure out, and I hope Belichick, I know you listen.
He's about to leave.
Yeah, whatever team he goes to, if he takes this on, he's going to be a winning formula.
Yeah.
Right? Belichick, listen to me, mate. Backwards passes. Once it gets past the 10 yards, right, and you're down there, have a go. Just, what do you got to lose? Yeah. You've already lost your job.
Good point.
Well, no one's near each other, but that's part of the problem. So, okay, what is a tight five? Jim said he did not know. Angus, what is a tight five?
I said it's something Amos Guilford.
Yeah, and then I had a nice answer.
It goes down to what we discussed about the scrum, really. So it's those front five players in that scrum position in rugby union. So it's two props, a hooker, and then the two locks, or also called second rowers, who position themselves behind them.
Hooker.
A hooker is the player who sits between the child,
because he hooks the ball back with his foot.
Tight five, and there's a hooker.
They put him in the middle. He's one of the smaller players. Yeah. You got two props propping up the hooker, as a couple of second rowers come in from behind. I don't know what your problem is.
We call them pimps here. Yeah, no, they're props over there.
And then there's a lock at the back.
Yeah. When did rugby become a professional sport? Jim said the late 1990s. Is this correct?
Yeah, he was right. 1995 in rugby union. So in rugby union, it was 1995, and in rugby league, it was 1905. So there was a huge difference between that.
Wow. Okay. And are they well paid?
They are now, but not like the same as a Premier League player or something like that.
No, I wouldn't expect that. Premier League's the big, but what's an average salary?
I would say of the traditional British sports, so rugby, cricket, football, it's probably the lowest paid. But again, it's all relative. So compared to other sports like field hockey or something, it's obviously much more well paid. Also depends where you are. The highest paid players in club rugby in the world are in France, the French league, and the highest paid international players are the English.
Now,
And what do they get paid? Is it like six figures, or it's at least that, right? Or
yeah, it's six. It's
Oh,
over,
I do
it's
remember
over
there was a
100
figure
grand.
going around about how much the English rugby team made per match. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been £20,000 per match they played for England,
okay.
which sounds like a lot if you're playing a lot of matches like in baseball or something, but they only play 11, 12 matches a season at most.
yeah, it's still six figures, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's still good.
Shohei Ohtani's getting 600 grand a game.
And at bat,
Well, 150 at bat, 600 grand a game.
I interrupted. What were you saying?
Okay,
Jim?
so I'm gonna see, Angus. I'm gonna do a deep cut for you. Who's the honey badger?
Pat Cummins.
Yeah. All right, now Jack, Google the honey badger.
Well, if you did, there was an American football player named the Honey
No.
Badger.
Okay,
Yeah.
because Australia, you know how passionate I am about a certain show called The Bachelor, right?
course, yeah.
So there was a guy who played rugby for Australia called the Honey Badger, who they made the Bachelor. Right, he played for the Wallabies,
Yeah.
and he was the Bachelor. Then he picked none of the girls. But when you see this is who Australia offered up as our Bachelor,
Oh yeah.
I'm actually wrong. It's not even Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins, I'm thinking
Nick
of the cricketer.
Cummins.
It's
Nick
Nick
Cummins.
Cummins.
yeah, Nick Cummings. But get some just images of him on the Bachelor. Nick Cummings, the Bachelor.
Wait, is Pat Cummins related to him? But you still said Cummings, so
Oh, I just knew.
You get a
Cummings.
point 'cause
I-
Jim
I
feared
only-
it doesn't matter.
I
I
only
guess
call
you
him the Honey Badger.
Oh, yeah, there he is. He looks like he's in a glam rock band.
Okay, but that's who
Oh, God.
that's who Australia went. That's what we've got for you.
His head's like swollen.
And in the end, he said, "Oh, I don't like any of them, really."
He said no?
Yeah, he said
That's
no to all of
amazing.
them. Yeah, he was still there. He is.
Oh, yeah,
ripped.
he's in good shape.
Oh no, he's a professional rugby player. He's built
Yeah.
like a brick shithouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Honey Badger.
He looks awesome.
When was the first international rugby match played? Jim said 1840.
It was in 1871, so about 48 years after the supposed creation of rugby. And it was in Edinburgh between England and Scotland.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's technically
Scotland came
international.
up the
Yeah.
winners.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see if I got the winners right of the World Cup. Jump to that question because now I'm thinking
Well, okay,
Scotland. Because Wales have a very good team.
It's two questions away. When and where was the first rugby cup hosted? Jim said 1980 in England. He said it was pretty recent. Is that close?
It was 1987 in New Zealand.
I knew it wasn't a long time.
New Zealand, though, yeah.
That's interesting.
Zealand.
And the first one was won by New Zealand, I believe. Was it?
New Zealand won their first home World Cup as well. Yeah.
And the countries that have won, Jim said New Zealand, Australia, England. I think he said New Zealand 3 times, Australia twice, England once, and South Africa. That's it.
I remember when England beat Australia in the World Cup because it was played quite early in the morning, and I had a one-night stand that night, but I didn't want to leave the girl's house because I wanted to watch the Rugby World Cup, so I had to convince her. So I did watch it next to a girl that I can't remember the name of, but
Couldn't remember then or can't remember now?
I could remember then. This is a long time ago.
I was curious.
This is 20 years ago, but Australia lost, and what happened after that was Australia had also lost in the same year, had lost the Ashes for the first time, which is our cricket contest. And it was a very difficult time to be an Australian comic in England. I would get booed on stage. The English are what you call terrible winners. They lose brilliantly because they're used to it.
Yeah.
But when they win, they panic. Well, this is a different feeling. I should abuse the other people whenever I see them. You're meant to go be happy. You're the king of the anyway.
So is that correct? New Zealand, Australia, England, South Africa are the only countries that have won?
Yes, those are the only countries that won. And actually, Jim got the amount right as well, although he didn't list how many South Africa had won, but he said New Zealand 3, Australia 2, and England 1, which is correct.
And South Africa
I'll
won,
get to how
I
many South
believe.
Africa have won shortly.
South Africa won 1, right?
No,
2?
actually, as of 3 months ago, South Africa have won 4, which makes South Africa
Damn.
the highest of all of the teams. We've got 4 World Cup wins.
I'm way out of it, man. I'm way
Yeah,
out
you're
of it.
way
I
off
don't,
on that
I
one.
don't know. I don't know. I once who was the name?
Springboks.
You know Graham Smith?
Graham Smith, the cricketer.
Yeah, the cricketer. When I was touring South Africa like 20-something years ago, me and him got into a bar fight.
Against each other?
Yes. Not like, no, but there wasn't a punch up as such, but it was like a fucking thing. I was in a bar. Now, this guy's great. Now, you understand, in Australia and South Africa and New Zealand, the cricket captain is second only to the Prime Minister, right? Like, that's as important a job in our nation as anything, as being the cricket captain. There's more to answer, yeah. So he was the cricket captain, and I was doing this casino in Cape Town for like months and months and months, and there was him and a pace bowler. We were in this bar, this swanky bar, and I was talking to the girl, and I had a girlfriend at the time. I wasn't trying to hit on this girl or anything, but I was talking to this girl who did our press for the tour, and she was saying, you know, I'd just done some interviews with her that day, so I'm talking to her at the bar, and he literally came up and fucking like leaned in between me and the girl like that and went, "How are you? Nice to meet you," or whatever. You know, South Africans, how they talk. And she was like, "Excuse me, I'm just talking to," and he went, "Really? This guy?" Like that. I went, "Who the fuck are you, cunt?" Right? He's not that big a bloody bloke, you know. He's not much bigger than me. And then I sort of sensed as soon as I did it, the whole room sort of changed. Like this was someone I shouldn't be fucking with, because I'd been living in America. I'd been living in Britain that whole time. I didn't know who he was, right? And anyway, so he goes, "Good luck, mate." And then he sort of clicked his fingers, and some people came and dragged me away. And they were coming to drag me away. And I went, "Hey, man, we all say stupid things." I put my hand out to shake it, and he just waved me off, and I got fucking dragged out of the club. Anyway, cut to Graham Smith, if you're fucking listening. Cut to 2 weeks later, the South African cricket team decides to come to the show.
Yeah.
They're all sitting in the front row. It's me and like 5 other comedians.
This is like a Seinfeld episode.
I'm sitting there, and his girlfriend or fiance at the time was quite a famous South African TV presenter.
Yeah.
Oh, goody. Right? Yeah. And I got on stage and I told the story. So I was talking to a girl and blah, da, 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 da. And I said, "You wouldn't shake my hand, Graham."
Yeah.
"You should have shook my hand." And I said, "Who thinks Graham should come up here and shake my hand right now?" And Graham walked on the stage. This is before camera phones, but there's still some like actual camera. And he goes, and he's grinning through his teeth with a smile like that. And through his teeth, he's like this: "You're a fucking asshole. You're an asshole." He wasn't wrong.
Well, thanks
he's
for
also
listening
an
to the
asshole,
podcast.
so-
But there's enough people. You ask Angelo Zaroukas was in the room, and who else was there? Big J Okerson was in the room. He will retell that story.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other people.
Well, him and Belichick listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Belichick, Graham Smith. Go on, mate.
Who captained Australia to their 1999 Rugby World Cup win? You said George Gregan.
Gregan.
It wasn't George Gregan. It was actually John Eales, who actually was winning his second World Cup with Australia. He won it in 1991 as well. And he was quite a unique player because he was a lock forward, so traditionally very tall player who also involved in the scrum, etc. But he also kicked for poles, so quite a unique thing because not many players could be seen to be a forward and also kick for poles.
And in what year did South Africa win the first Rugby World Cup? You said 1999, but that's when Australia won.
Yeah, I would get things wrong.
Oh, yeah. Idiot.
1995.
95.
He was right, of course. That was the Invictus movie. Nelson Mandela was released a few years prior, and apartheid had just ended. South Africa were allowed to host the Rugby World Cup, and that was South Africa's one and only time we've hosted a Rugby World Cup, and they won it in that year.
But also, it's a kind of a magical thing because South Africa had been tied off from international sport. No one was playing with them, all that stuff, and actually host a big sporting thing like that.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie.
Well, the premise of the movie is very simple.
But does Does Morgan Freeman play Nelson Mandela?
No, he plays one of the rugby players. Who the fuck do you think Nelson Mandela plays?
Why would he?
No, Morgan Freeman. I get him mixed up.
But he does
I get him
He has
mixed
like
up.
an accent. He does an accent.
No, he's like this. Hey, Andy Dufresne was a great rugby player.
Wait, did Matt Damon's South African in the movie?
Get busy tackling or get busy dying.
I've never seen the movie.
He does the South African. He does the. I won't do the voice.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. He does the Nelson. I can't do the Nelson Mandela, but you know the one that deep in the guttural voice.
Yeah, I know that one.
I might be stupid or missed it. How often does the Rugby World Cup happen?
Every 4 years.
4 years.
So Matt Damon plays the captain of the South African rugby team.
Who was that?
What's he?
Angus? What was
Francois Pienaar.
Francois Pienaar.
Francois Pienaar.
Francois Pienaar. I'll tell you what rugby was at the forefront.
Pienaar.
When I think of like American sports, right, and even now to this day, like the captain of the Welsh team was a gay guy, and he was what's his name? The bloody Welsh guy, the bald bloke.
Gareth Thomas.
Gareth Thomas. So they had an openly gay player playing rugby union, and still you don't have it in like you had like that center, the Twins. There was one center in the NBA, and then you have that guy who was drafted. How's he going?
He never made it in the NFL.
He never made it in the NFL.
I don't remember his name right now. He was from University of Missouri.
Everyone was talking about it all the time, weren't they?
Yeah.
People keep it quiet.
There's a couple of people after the fact.
Michael Sam was his name.
Michael Sam. Thank you, Aaron.
We had another bloke in rugby league called Ian Roberts, who was as tough as nails, man. Tough as nails. Would have been 6'5" and built like a brick shit house.
They're trying to get the sport. They have the rugby league is going to be played in Vegas, right?
The rugby league, the opening weekend
in a couple weeks,
the
right?
opening weekend of the rugby league is played in Vegas, and I may be doing a little voiceover thing for it. So let's see.
Or maybe it's after the Super Bowl. So right, it's like probably.
Are they doing it in the Death Star thing?
Yeah, they're doing it in
Cool.
the Vegas, the Raiders.
No, they're not doing it in the Sphere.
No, the Raiders. Oh,
No,
is that what you meant?
The Raiders place. No, they call that the Death Star.
Oh, yeah.
'cause
The
Sphere looks
Raiders
like
Stadium.
the
They're
Death
doing
Oh
it.
yeah, there's two round things now. Yeah, okay. No,
I was going to do it in the Sphere. Oh, rugby.
We skipped this one. Who has scored the most points in international rugby? Is it Johnny Wilkinson?
He would have scored it in one World Cup, but he wouldn't have scored it in his career.
Johnny Wilkinson is third on the list.
Not a bad guess.
Followed ahead of him is Owen Farrell, another Englishman. And then ahead of them both by quite a margin is Dan Carter, a famous New Zealand fly half.
Right.
Dan Carter.
Obviously.
Now, are you like me? Do you think... okay, I could get culturally in trouble for this right now. Do you think the harker's a little dumb? Now, if you don't know what the harker is a New Zealand...
you didn't want him to answer? I don't think you want him to answer. I don't think he wants to answer.
I'm saying this for the listeners at home, right? The harker is a Maori war dance that basically you do before you go into battle, and it's meant to instill fear into the opposition, and it is a very entertaining thing to watch, right? There's a lot of tongue sticking out, and I won't do the rest because I've already done the Nelson Mandela voice, and I've been saying the M word.
The M word all over the place.
So, you know, I'm all over the shop in this one. I got to watch what I say. But the harker to me now, when I was a kid, I used to go, oh, they're about to do that. Because what happens is they do the harker, and then the Australian team stands there. And what we should do is we should go like this, ooh, that would be the best response. But what we do is we go, we try to act all tough.
Yeah.
And we look at each other, fucking look at these cunts.
Wow, these
So
are
it's
really
like
tough guys.
But the white guys on the New Zealand team do it too?
So if you grow up in New Zealand, and you're in school, you've learned the haka. The white guys, the Maoris,
I know, because I've been there. When you're even on the airlines, of the Maori language.
All I
and
need
English,
to know is, this is what I love about it, is that Rhys Darby, without a doubt, at one stage of his life, had to do the haka.
Let's make him do it tonight.
The amount of money I would pay to watch Rhys Darby do the haka is insurmountable.
What was your question?
Do you think it's dumb?
I think I have too many New Zealand friends to be saying anything about it. But
there's only 3
would say
million
that
of them all up. How many can you have?
just from the rugby community itself. But I would say that it's probably lost its shine over the years for me. I think with the amount of rugby I watch, I've probably watched too many huckers for me to get as excited as I used to be about them.
Yeah, when you're a kid, it's fun, isn't it? But also, okay, so I'm not against it in the sense that, okay, I find it stupid that Americans play the national anthem before every sporting game. I understand it
Agreed.
before international sports, but before every sporting game, I feel like we're doing so many of these games. We know the national anthem. It's but it's a cultural thing that Americans do it. So I stand up, I'm respectful when it happens. I'll take my hat off and all that type of stuff as an American as well. But I think it's a bit of overkill singing the national anthem before every sporting event, especially in domestic leagues. But with the rugby, I know they don't do the haka in the domestic New Zealand league before each game. They only do it in internationals. If they get their dance, I want to dance too. That's what I reckon. I reckon we all get a dance. So Australians do some type of Australian dance. Maybe just shuffling along drunk to land down under. Or whatever it might
shuffle,
be.
yeah.
And the Welsh could do some type of Welsh, where they get the ribbon around a stick.
What about river
one?
dance?
Yeah.
The river dance is the Irish team.
I'm saying they're number one.
Yeah, the Irish should be dancing with their arms by their sides, with their legs going maniac. Or as I call it, the reverse quadriplegic.
Oh my God.
Because that's what happened to
The
the
lower body works to the upper body.
Yeah, the river dance people, they're quadriplegics, but their upper body didn't work.
All right, listen. Jim said
They need to be in an armchair.
Jim said that the rugby is most popular in New Zealand. Is this correct, Angus?
I mean, it's obviously subjective. It's a very popular sport in New Zealand. Per capita, it might be more popular in Fiji, say, because almost the entire country of Fiji is obsessed with rugby. South Africa is got a higher population in both those countries, so you could say from that perspective, it's more popular in South Africa. And then, as Jim touched on, rugby league is mainly popular in Australia and Northern England.
What other? Okay, so the countries that have won: England, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand,
Okay.
and what other country? You said Fiji plays, Ireland. How many?
Ireland, Scotland, Argentina, France has it's surprising that France hasn't won it once because they're a competitive rugby nation.
America?
The Dutch will wheel out a team. America wheels out normally in the sevens. They don't wheel out in the World
Yeah.
Cup. I might be wrong there as well, and we should probably let the expert answer.
I would say if you had to list the teams that have been closest to winning a World Cup that haven't won one, it would be France. France have been to quite a few World Cup finals. Teams like Wales, Ireland, Argentina, those other strong rugby nations, they've never been to a World Cup final at all. So France are quite a dominant team in the rugby landscape that have actually never won it. But as you mentioned, I mean, there are quite a few World Cups that have actually happened. So we've only got England with 1 World Cup, Australia with 2, New Zealand with 3, and South Africa with 4. That's it. It's very easy to remember.
All right, and then what are the British and Irish Lions? Jim says the name of the rugby team there.
It's essentially a touring squad that goes back to the days of amateur rugby, really. It's the grouping of Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England combined for one tour every 4 years. And they do a tour of either Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa.
Okay.
Which means essentially each of those nations, like South Africa, will get it every 12 years. And that team tours, it plays a lot of club matches against club teams from that country, and then it plays test matches, generally in the modern era, 3 test matches against the nation that they're touring.
All right, and then the form of rugby in Olympic Games, sevens, we've been over that. So there's less people on the field. Different rugby leagues. Is there different rugby leagues so the players could get paid? That's what Jim said? Is that why?
Yeah, so, I mean, rugby was unified in 1871. As we said, that was the first game. But a few decades later, there was kind of players who wanted to get paid for rugby. Leagues up north in England, and this is where it all began. The leagues up north in England wanted to have their players paid, and they were getting in trouble with the original rugby union about having paid players. So essentially they broke off and decided to create their own league where they could pay players. And then from there, the rules actually started to change. So originally, when they originally broke off, the rules were actually the same as rugby union.
Greatest 3 players of all time.
I would have to say we've already mentioned one, Dan Carter, top point scorer, New Zealand rugby legend, always often the go-to name for people when it comes to who the greatest player is. From then it gets a lot tougher. There's another New Zealand player called Richie McCaw. He was the captain for New Zealand when they won 2 of their 3 World Cups, which has now been matched by South Africa's Sia Khaleesi, who has captained us to the last 2 World Cups, so 2023 and 2019, where we've gone back to back.
Well,
But
okay,
those are captains
I was
who
living.
obviously.
I was living in America during that time. That's why I didn't keep up with those stats. You know, you can't blame me for it. It's very hard to watch the rugby here. What about? Okay, so you didn't put Jonah Lomu in the list. I would argue that Jonah Lomu had the biggest impact on any sport I've ever seen for the shortest amount, like the biggest kapow I've ever seen to anyone entering a sport ever. I've never seen someone, and I know you probably can't put him in the greatest players of all time because his career was so short. But was he worth the hype, or am I just remembering it through my child eyes?
No, I'm not even saying that the South African captain I mentioned, Sia Khaleesi, I'm not even saying he would be in my top 3. I'm just saying he's obviously done the feat as well. If I were to say top 3, it would probably be Dan Carter, Richie McCaw, and Jonah Lomu. Lomu, as you said, he kind of broke the game in those early 90s. In 1995, when the sport went professional, he had the most tackle breaks that still have never been broken in a Rugby World Cup. Defenders beaten. He was a freak of nature. He was the fastest player on the pitch, but also the strongest. And he was 6'5", and he was 6'4", I believe, something around there.
Why was his career
he was
short?
just a freak of nature.
He had kidney failure. He died quite young, and then also he was just a big bloke, and he had some medical issues and stuff like that. But put in Jonah Lomu highlights, right? And so we can put up.
How do you even spell that?
Jonah, Jonah, Lomu, 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 I believe.
Yeah.
And I've never seen, I'm including Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky or whatever, I've never seen someone in a game look like they were so far superior to everybody else playing the sport that it was a little bit silly. Where if he was a racehorse, you would have like handicapped him.
Yeah.
You know, like he was something else.
It was South
In that
Africa.
1995 Rugby World Cup, he scored an amazing try against England where he quite literally ran over about 4 players,
All right,
almost trampling them.
So let's just we can make an edit point here, but I just want to just show
Top 10 tries.
Yeah.
All right, we've done all the questions. Now is a part of our show called Dinner Party Facts. We ask our guests to give us some sort of fact that's obscure, interesting about the subject that people can use to impress people. You got something for us, Angus?
I do. I guess one's quite relevant to what we just discussed, so it's worth starting with. Interestingly, despite playing quite a few games against South Africa, Jonah Lomu never actually scored against South Africa. And he became really good friends with a player called Jus van der Westhuizen, who was one of the key reasons he didn't score in that 1995 World Cup final, who tackled him, I think it was 8 or 9 times in that match alone. But he ended up getting MD and passing away, and they were close friends when they were both struggling with illness. So it was quite a lovely story.
Got MD. It was probably is that a C for you?
Muscular dystrophy.
Oh, I meant muscular dystrophy. Fuck, I'm the guy who's meant to know about muscular dystrophy. Fucking hell. I was thinking of MS.
Wait, he played against South. I thought he was from South Africa. He played.
No. Jonah
Lomu was in New Zealand.
New Zealand. I'm sorry. Okay, so he never scored against South Africa. Okay, got it.
It was that World Cup was the whole thing. But then didn't Jonah? He while he was at that World Cup, he met and married a South African girl, didn't he?
I don't know about that.
That's the podcast. Yeah, that's the name of our podcast.
Now you get covered in slime. He said the words.
Awesome. All right.
I guess the other one.
Oh, yeah, another one. Great.
That was probably the more interesting one I have is that try is originated. The try originated in rugby as not actually being a point scoring form. So the reason it's called a try is because you got to try to kick at goal. So that's where it got its name from, obviously. It originally was a way of converting, and if you kicked the ball over, then you got one goal. So games were like the original game between England and Scotland, the first ever international rugby match. England scored one try and missed the conversion, so they had 0 goals. And Scotland scored 2 tries, but got one of their conversions, which meant they had 1 goal. So their actual score was 1-0, and they used goals as their scoring system.
Oh, so that's what it's called a try. Now, that is fascinating for me.
Yeah.
Because I've been talking about tries my whole life. I've never known that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And you said that early in the show. You go, it's because it's called a try, but there's a reason.
Yeah, no. So next time I see Crow, that's gonna be my dinner party fact to say to Russell. Because he owns a rugby league team.
Do you think he'll fight you on it?
I'm gonna go this Russell. No, he's a pussy. He's a teddy bear, Russell Crowe. Lovely
Really?
fella. And I'll go, Russell. Why are they called tries? He will have an answer.
Yeah.
Well, back in the 1800s when... No, and I'm going to have that thing in my back pocket. Boom!
All right. I didn't even ask you again.
I've forgotten what it is already, but I'll Google it.
You know what I forgot to ask you because I saved this again for later. What is the name of the trophy for the Rugby World Cup?
Ellis Cup.
Yeah, but
From Ellis Island.
what's the answer, Angus?
William Webb Ellis.
William Webb Ellis. He would have been a cunt, though, William Webb Ellis. You're at school. We're trying to play soccer. Oh, William's picked up the ball again. I figured out a different sport.
Thank you for being here.
Sit down, Ellis, you cunt.
Thanks for being here, Angus. Again, if you want to follow him, it's on Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it, at Analyst Gus, ANALYSTGUS. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Angus. That was good. I like the topics I know a little bit about, but not enough. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever at a dinner party and someone comes up to you and goes, oh, remember that try that John Olome scored against South Africa? Go, don't know about that. Walk away.
Get out of there.
Good night, Australia.